All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So today there's not really much to do. We did all our planting, and actually, if you watch the short from last week, you can see that some of the vegetables are already coming up. The issue I'm having right now, let me just take you over there, is I believe my little wildlife friends here are eating the leaves off. If I can get it, they're eating the leaves as they're coming up. So right now, I have one squash plant coming up out of the ground. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside in here in just a minute, and I'm going to get some more seeds and put them in, because I think I'm pretty sure it was a squirrel, because I saw him hopping out of there today. So I'm going to get some more seeds and put them in there. And if the other ones come up, if they've just eaten the leaves off and the vines are coming up, great. As you can see, we do have quite a few beans. So those are the beans coming up there. And it's hard to tell, that's just dirt. So we're good there. The leaves aren't getting eaten. And then here's the next pot of beans. So those all came up really well. As far as the tomatoes and peppers go, the peppers are getting pretty big right now. As you can see, they're getting pretty good size there. The tomatoes on this plant, I've got a lot of blossoms, but I don't think there's any tomatoes on this one yet. I do have a couple small peppers down here that are coming in, and then of course this tomato plant. Already got it two. There's actually another one over here behind that, and then there's three of the cherry tomatoes on that one. Do have, if we can get that in frame, yep, I do have a red pepper coming up there, and I think there's another one on the backside that's just not looking real healthy right now. It could be because I transplanted that plant. And then the corn's coming up. And let me get that out of there so it doesn't confuse me later. Corn's coming up. Right now I have 2, 4, 6 plants coming up there. This one only had 4 yesterday, or day before yesterday, I should say. Day before yesterday had 4, so I've actually got 2, 4, 6, 7 in this pot. So not bad. I did notice, as you can see right here, maybe, I don't know, I'll turn that sideways, but there, some animal was digging in here and there. I've kind of refilled the holes so that they're covered again. I don't know what's digging in there. I'm pretty sure it's the squirrels. Oh, here, you can see right here. There's a big hole right there where they've been digging. First I thought it was cats, but there's nothing left in there, so I'm not so sure it's the cats. So not too much to do today. I'm gonna go grab the seeds real quick, and then we'll plant I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 more plants or seeds in here for the squash, and we'll see what happens there. As you can see, it is kind of nasty out. And yeah, I don't, we're going to be doing too much today as far as this goes. So this will probably be a shorter one of my videos. Maybe before I come off, I'll go down and sit at my desk, and we'll talk a little bit more about what my goals are, where I want to be with this. And before we go inside, I want to talk about a couple things I want to do to get myself to a better spot where I can do stuff for myself and cooking and whatnot. So give me just a minute. We'll be back and we'll get the seeds. And we're back. All right, so let's see. So this one only needs 6 hours of sun, so I can't be that. I'm pretty sure it's the squirrels. It could be the seeds. You know, it doesn't, just because you have a seed doesn't mean it's going to take. So I got new seeds. We're gonna have. Well, maybe we'll do 5, and then that way, got a chance. Now, if the other plants come up, maybe I'll break down and get another bucket. Who knows? We'll see. So let's get these in here. There's 3. Let's do 5. Easily, this pot can easily hold 5 of these plants. I don't want to. Definitely don't want to overcrowd it. But if I find something while I'm digging here, we'll stop. We'll let it come up. But yeah, it definitely looks like the squirrels have been getting in here and eating the seed pods as they come up. They're probably just taking the plant with the rest of the seed in there and just taking it and eating it. Now, I'm not quite putting these far apart as they should be. You know, the other thing is too, I could have potentially buried the seeds too deep. That's always a possibility. We want to make sure we pat those down. Now, I'm going to put this little guy. You know what? I'll put him right here. We should be okay over here on the side. And you know what else it could be too? The birds could have gotten in here too, and they could have easily plucked those seeds out of here. So, all right. So we got more of those in the ground, in the pot. So 5 more potential seeds. Beans. We should have plenty of beans this year. I should be able to get enough potentially. Because the beans, you know, they're pretty prolific growers, and they produce, in my experience anyway, they do produce quite a few beans so on each plant. So that said, I should be able to get a decent harvest out of that, and I'm betting I'll get at least 5, maybe 6, 8 bags easily of freezer. Well, these will probably be broken into enough meals that I can have like per bag, like 3 or 4 meals. So again, breaking that down, generally speaking, if you go to the store and you buy one of the freezer bags, you know, the microwave ones, that's generally for a single guy like me. That's 2 meals. Unless I'm really hungry, I'll eat the whole bag. So that's 2 meals. So if I get enough with 3 to 4 meals in them, or enough to cover 3 or 4 bags, so that's 2 meals each. So that's 6 meals. So 3 bags, they're around $2.50 in the store. So that's $5, $7.50. That's $7.50 right there. 6 meals, and then, you know, if I have 3 or 4 bags, you're talking anywhere up to $20, maybe more, just saving right there. Is that going to cover the cost of what I've put out here to plant into? No. But when and if the day comes that when the day comes that I move from here, I can always take these pots with me, the dirt and everything, if I want to. I can take the pots with me, right? So I don't lose money there. So over time, the money that I save going to the store will be put back into basically this. Eventually, it'll pay for itself, hopefully. Last year, I got enough tomatoes off the little pot that I had last year that I actually broke even just with that little pot. So these are like probably 4, maybe 5 times the size of what I had last year pot wise, and multiply that by, what do I have, 7 barrels, half barrels. So I got 7 half barrels, 4 to 5 times. So potential is there to get a lot more food this year. So hopefully fingers crossed, we get some corn. I can take the corn, I can freeze the corn. We'll blanch it all, we'll freeze it. I'll have it in the freezer so I can use it. Either I can cut the kernels off, put them in a bag, do it that way, or I can freeze the whole um, cob. I can break them in half, freeze them in, and I'll eat half to a full cob with a meal. So if I get right now, I've got 2, 4, 6. I got 13 stalks that are coming up. Hopefully, we'll get 1 or 2 more. It's still we started late. We started late planting, but that's okay because in Georgia we have a much longer growing season here than say uh, anybody in the Northeast or in the Midwest, Northern Midwest. We have a much longer growing season, so it's okay that we started late. I really plan on getting this in earlier so that I could get a better harvest and more of a harvest. But that aside, um, again, it all comes down to finance. So I guess we're kind of done here in the garden for right now. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about my goals. So my goal is within the next 3 to 5 years is to eventually get my own place, whether it be a homestead or maybe even just a piece of land, or my first house. Um, that's my goal within the next 3 to 5 years. I want to have some place that I can call my own. 1, 2, have it paid off by the time I go to retire, and 3, of course, I want to be able to have a home. So if my kids need some place to go, they got a place to go. My next goal by the end of this year, um, I have a goal to get 2 of my credit cards paid off. The 2 credit cards that I'm going to pay off are not necessarily, one is not the highest interest, but it's potentially easier for me to pay that one off because it's almost done, right? So if I pay that one off and I pay the second one off, that will save me about, I think, around about $600 a month. So that's $600 a month I don't have going out to credit cards, and with the interest paid on those credit cards each month. So basically, half of my payment, because I pay extra, I pay a little bit extra, even if it's only $10 or $15. I always try to pay a little extra on my credit cards to get them paid down as fast as possible. By paying that $10 to $15, I usually end up paying almost $100 more per card, right? So if your half of your payment is just paying the interest and you got half going in, it goes down faster. Now, if you pay the minimum balance, you're only paying like $10, $12 more than what your interest is on the credit card. So I always try to pay a little bit extra. That's how I've already, last year I only paid off 1 credit card, but I had a lot of stuff going on that I had to take care of in between. So one of the methods I used uh, to try and get myself out of debt is, and I know everybody's going to call me crazy, that I could have the money in the bank and the interest could be saving and all that. Yeah, got all that. Here's the problem. Myself, like a lot of people, if the money's in the bank, we see something we want, hey, I got the money, we spend it. So what I do is I claim 0 on my taxes. It withholds at a higher rate. I never have to pay taxes. At the end of the year, I always get something back. And then on top of that, over the years, I have contributed um, additional money to that so that when tax season comes, I do my refund. I have that extra money for 2 reasons. I do stocks. I don't buy and sell. I'm not a day trader or anything, but I do buy some stocks. and occasionally I do sell those stocks. Well, if I sell those stocks and I don't have enough, let's say I make a very small uh, bit of money off of that stock, $100, whatever. I got to pay taxes on that money, um, and you have to pay a little bit more if you do what's called a short sale. So if you only held it for a short period of time, and then you go and sell it, that's you. You pay a little bit more money in taxes. So I always have that extra little bit of money in my tax or taken out throughout the year, so that I have that money. Now, if I don't need that money, right, I get all that money back. Even early on, when I was not divorced and still had the kids and everything, I always used that as the beginning of the year. So let's say I needed car tires or I needed work done on the car. I had that little extra money coming in from my taxes, so I utilized that money at the beginning of the year. Anything left over, I always put it in the savings. So that's one way I do it. So each year, I tried to increase that money, that extra a little bit, by $5 every year. When you think about it, $5 is really not that much. And before you know it, if you do this quarterly, every half year, that's $10. If you do it half a year, that's 10 extra dollars going per month, or per paycheck into the taxes, right? And so you're saving that money. You're not spending that money. No, you're not earning interest on that money. So no, it is not the best way to do this. But if you are a spender and you have that money, you'll spend it. This is a good way to save it up, to pay off the credit cards at the beginning of the year, pay out something off, or fix your car, whatever. That's how I did it. I am no financial expert, so by any means, please don't take and go, well, that guy on YouTube said if I do this, I'll save up. That's not it. That's how I did it. I'm just sharing with you how I did it. It has allowed me in the last 10 years to get out of debt twice. Um, so, yeah, COVID came along right after I got out of debt. So I didn't have enough money saved up. Hours got cut at work. Paycheck got smaller. There were a lot of bad things happened. Then my daughter got married, so I had to I had to pay for that. So, a lot of things happened. Accumulation, before I knew it, bam, I'm back in debt. I think the highest I got was about $35,000 in debt. Right now I'm 20, about $22,000 in debt. And I've been saving, saving, saving. So right about now, I'm actually at the point where I am going to take what I have in savings, and I am going to pay off half of 2 credit cards. Yes, I could pay off 1 credit card, and that would be one less payment, but I'd like to try and get these 2 paid down so that I can get the interest rate paid down. Even if I pay one off, I'm still going to have a lot of interest on this other card. So if I can get both of them down and the interest rates are lower, and then over the next uh, 1, 2, 3 months, I'm going to finish paying those credit cards off. I have the money, right? And I could potentially take and pay both those credit cards off. But again, that leaves me zero balance in savings. I don't want to do that because I've already done that, already fallen down that hole. And that's how I got back to where I am right now. So that's where I am financially right now. I am getting out of the hole, so to speak. So I plan probably by August to at least have, or not August, October, to at least have 2 of the credit cards completely paid off, if not before then. If that's the case, then obviously I'm going to work on the next credit card. So the next credit card is the height of the 2 credit cards combined. So once I get those 2 credit cards paid off, then my focus will be on the last credit card. Once the last credit card is paid off, then I have 1 loan out, and I pretty sure by February, March, I should be able to have all of it paid off and still have a little bit of money in, or well, enough money in the savings that should something happen, should I need to fix a car or something like that, or tires or whatever, I'll have that money. So those are the things I do. So now, say, as far as savings goes, I recommend you have a checking and a savings account. Anything that goes into savings, don't touch it. That's no-go money. If you really, really think about it, you shouldn't need to touch that money ever, right? And it took me 58 years to figure this out. If you think about it, if you didn't have the savings, you didn't have that money to go to, right? What would you do? You'd figure it out. You'd figure out a way to pay those bills, to do those things if you didn't have the money. So even though you have the money, right? Figure out a way. Figure out a way to pay it off or fix it without touching your savings. Unless you absolutely have to do it. And then try and take as little out of savings as possible to cover, right? Then once you get your savings like I did, so I have a savings. So what I did was I started my savings with doing $25 a paycheck. So I have direct deposit. I highly recommend you utilize a direct deposit. Um, the less cash you have on hand, the less chance you're going to spend it. Less money you have in checking, the less chance you're going to spend it. So more that you put in the savings that you can do, the better. If you start out with just $25 or even 10 or 15, I actually started out with $10 a month, right? So what I did was I go $10. Okay, let me figure out how to live without that $10, right? So if you figure out how to live without that $10 and that $10 is going into savings, you're going to earn interest. It's not going to be a lot. My recommendation would be if your institution, you have Fidelity or somebody like that, they have savings accounts you can do. Utilize their savings account, and then you can put that money into, you can put it in a money market account. You can put it into an ETF. You can put it into something like that where it's going to earn regular interest at a higher interest rate. Banks typically only pay about 0.03% or 0.04%, around there, some 1%. But if you're getting 9% interest on, let's say, an ETF or a money market or one of those, right? That's 9%, 10%. That's a huge amount of money compared to what you're getting in a regular savings. So I do recommend you get into something as far as like Fidelity, Morgan Stanley, something like that. Any one of those banks or whatever. Utilize your 401k as best as you can. Put as much in your 401k as you can. Remember, the more you put into a 401k, the less you show you're making on taxes. So the less you're going to get taken out for taxes. But there is a balance. You can put too much into a 401k and not see, and actually see your paycheck go down. So if you see that, then okay, adjust to a percent. Okay. So utilize your 401k and then get that high interest savings account through your you can do it through your 401k sometimes. I know for myself, I use Fidelity. I have my 401k in Fidelity. I also have my stocks in Fidelity, and I do have two high interest savings. So first step is get that set up, get an account set up, have certain, that money put into savings, right? So start out small if you have to. If you know you can afford to put $25 in, put $25 in, right? 3 months goes by, you say, hey, you know what? I've always got $5 or $10 or $20 more left over each month as I pay off my bills and get groceries and everything. Make sure you account for everything. Take that money, add it to that. Learn how to live without that money. Now, if you took 10, let's say you started with 25 or even $10, right? You started with $10, let's say, okay? 3 months go by, you figure out, whoa, hell, I got $10, $20 more. Let me take half of that $20 more that I have left over, I'll put that $10 in the savings, right? Get into that. Now you got 6 months goes by. Wait a minute. I still have that same $10. Take that $10, put it in the savings. You're up to 10, 20, 30. You're up to $30 a month. Or $30 a paycheck. If you're getting paid twice a month, that's $60. You get paid 4 times. You do the math, you'll see. And it'll grow exponentially. Plus, you're earning interest on it each quarter. Usually quarterly is what they do it, or yearly, annually. So you have to look and see what it is, annually or yearly. Annually or quarterly. Before you know it, you're gonna have $500-$600 in there. Before you know it, the next thing you look, it's gonna be $1,000. It will add up quickly if you do it properly. So every quarter, reevaluate, or every month even. If you find your monthly, you're having $10, $15, $20, and it's like, okay, put that in the savings. So now you get to the point where you're like, okay, this is where I'm at. I can't do any more in this savings. What do I do? Okay, now you're going to look at it and go, okay, I'm going to take $5 out this quarter, and I'm going to put it in the savings. That's going to leave you $5 short. So how do I fix that? How do I get around that? How do I live without that $5? Well, you find a way. Change something you buy in the store. Look at everything you pick up in the store. When you think about it, we buy so much stuff at the grocery store we don't need and we don't use, and we throw it out. Pick it up. I tell my kids this all the time. Pick that item up. Look at it. Go, hey, do I really need this month? No. $2.19 back on the shelf. That's almost half your money, right? Okay, now you get two. Now you come to the next item. It's $1.20, and you come to the next item. That's $2. You've now put $5 back on the shelf. Start looking at what you're buying. Start looking at what you're throwing away. Go through your items in the cabinets and stuff. Look at all the stuff you have. Check the expiration dates. Go through it. Look at it and go, you know what? I'm not going to buy this anymore, or I'm only going to buy it once in a while. Little things like that will get you a long ways into savings. You start building up your savings. Then as you have credit card debt, whatever, you've got 1,500, 2,000 in savings, right? So what I do is I set goals for my savings. So I set myself a goal, say, okay, I want to take 500 of this and I want to put it on this credit card, right? Okay, now you've taken 500 out of your savings, you only have 1,500. Okay, so my goal is to now get to $1,500. So my next goal is going to be, okay, so before I can take 2,500 or 500 out again, I need to get to 2,500, right? So take that to the next level. Take your savings to the next level. Go, okay, so it takes me about 3 to 4 months, and I'll be back to 2,000 in my savings, right? Now, another 2 to 3 months, oh, I'm at the 2,500. I'm going to take 500 out. Now your 2,000 is still there, right? So your next goal will be, okay, before I can take 500 out again, I need to get to 3,000. Each time, increasing your savings before you decrease it. So you increase a little bit each time, you take a little bit out, you pay off the credit card. Before you know it, by the end of the year, you've got either the credit card paid off or a sizable portion of it paid off, right? So these are just small little tips and tricks that I've used over the years. So hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any questions, please put your comments in below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you know when I actually do post a video, it'll be there. Make sure, please, hit that like so that YouTube sees it and it goes through the algorithm so I can get more and more viewers in here. I'd like to grow this channel. Last I checked, we're up to 12 subscribers so far. Pretty good. I'd love to see this go, maybe 20 subscribers by the end of next month, by June. I don't want to put a huge number out there and not happen to be a big disappointment. If it doesn't happen, great. If it does happen, great. Either way, I'm happy. I'm just doing this to try and help some people. Also, learn things as I go and pass it on to you guys. So, again, if you like this, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell. And also, if you could like and comment, that also helps me get my video out there more. So until next Monday, we'll see you again. Hopefully the squash will be doing a little bit better. If it's still happening, I'm going to have to figure out something to put around it to keep the squirrels out. The chipmunks, there's also chipmunks around here. There's one over there. There are chipmunks here, so it could be them as well. So we'll look at it next week and see where we go. If you have any questions, please make sure you hit the comments. And if you don't have a question, just tell me how you like the video, how you don't like the video, things I can improve. I'm okay with it. Just don't be nasty. Don't be rude. Just put something in there. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great day. It is Memorial Day today, and I want to thank my fellow servicemen for all that you did and do. And for those still active duty, I pray for you every day. Stay safe. I want to see everybody come home to their families. I know it's not always possible. That's why we have this day. For those of you who didn't serve, enjoy this day, but remember all those people that have fallen to keep this country free so you can enjoy a day like this. Remember those people. God bless you. And everybody have a great day. And we'll catch you next week.